Jason to vote for Jeff, because Jeff's not going to be here tonight, and I'll appoint Ted to vote for Jake. Jake said he was going to be a little bit late, so we have the 6 voting members there. Deb said she was going to be late also. So we have a quorum, and we can proceed. First part of our meeting is administrative board work, where we get our business done, and then tonight we have, there are 4 plans, and 3 of those plans have made a request to be continued. We'll do administrative board work first, and then we'll do the continuances, and then we'll get to the one lone public hearing we have for,
Do you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Chair?
oh,
And the fire
yes,
department warning.
thank you.
Fire department warning.
Yes, and also I want to point out for everyone who is here, this room has 2 exits. Front of the room and the back of the room. We have to evacuate, for any reason, we ask you to proceed through the exit closest to you. Move away from the building, don't come back into our fire officials have instructed us to do so. And we will, I'll ask everyone to please rise, we'll pledge allegiance to the American flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, Jake is here, and Ted is, will be part of our discussion unless he's needed to vote for anyone who wants to step down. As I said before, we've got 3 public hearings that'll be continued, and 1 public hearing that people are here tonight. So we'll start with administrative board work. We have approval of minutes. We have minutes from May 4th, 2022, and May 11th, 2022. I'll take those separately in case someone wants to abstain because they were absent.
Motion to approve the minutes of May 4th, 2022.
Second.
Okay, motion by Al, second by Jake. Any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative, and motion carries. And we've got 6 voting members, so.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the minutes of May 11th, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Al, second by Jake for the minutes of May 11th. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative, and the minutes carry.
Art, question real quick. Don't we normally have 7 voting members? There would only be 6 of you if you do not include me.
Right, okay, because you can only fill for 1 regular member. There's 5 regular members here, and then Jason is filling in for 1.
I see. Never mind.
And let's see, regional impact determinations, Laura?
We do. We have 3 of them for your consideration. The first one is an application for design review of a lot line adjustment plan to adjust the lot line between 7 Chartwell Court, map 3, lot 45-61, zoned AR1, and 11 Greeley Road, map 3, lot 165-1, zoned AR1. Diana F. Walters Revocable Trust, owner and applicant. The second one is an application for design review of a site plan amendment for the construction of a 7,200 square foot building and associated site improvements. 3 Akira Way, map 28, lot 31-1, zoned industrial 2, Ranger Development Corp. Applicant and Fairwind Properties owner. The last one is application for design review of a subdivision plan to subdivide 1 residential lot into 2, 86 High Range Road, map 6, lot 106, zoned AR1, Belize Real Estate Holding LLC, owner and applicant. Staff recommends that the board find these projects are not developments of regional impact, as they do not meet any of the criteria set forth by the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission.
So we're doing developments of regional impact.
Okay.
Any questions from the board? If not, I'll take a motion to all those items are not a regional impact.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that these 3 applications do not meet the standards for regional impact.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Al, Jason,
See how it
Yes,
is.
yeah. I get to do this like 3 times a year.
Yes.
He was closer, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Al, second by Jason, and any discussion by the board? Questions? If not, all those in favor of those 3 items of not being a regional impact signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions? And the chair votes affirmative, and we've got 7 voting members now. And we go to discussions with town staff. John,
I have
anything?
nothing this evening.
I
Okay,
have 2 extension requests for the board to consider.
okay.
The first is an extension request to meet the conditions of approval on a previously conditionally approved site plan for a paved access drive around the existing building, 3 Aviation Park Drive, map 14, lot 29-10, zoned industrial 2, Cake Preserve, owner and applicant. As I just mentioned, this site plan was conditionally approved on September 2nd, 2020. They received an extension on December 2nd, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. And then on June 2nd, 2021, they received another extension another extension until June 30th, 2022. Currently, they are asking for an additional 1-year extension, which would put them at June 30th, 2023. And the owner has noted as support for his request. With tenant needs and current market conditions, more time will be needed. Staff has no objection to this request.
Okay, so it'll be about 3 years out, so nothing's really changed.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions by the board?
I have a question, Mr. Chair. How long do we give someone to keep getting, like, how long is the time period that they're grandfathered in? I mean, if they don't do anything, and so say some regulations have changed, do we say, okay, you have to update to the regulations, or do we just keep grandfathering it year after year?
We don't keep on doing it. 3 is one of the longer ones I can recall. And usually if we know we're gonna make some changes, then, won't extend it any further. We haven't really had any serious problem at all. Some developers take longer than others, and some of it, I think there's some reasonableness to this because of the economic situation, and, but I think when it comes next year at this time, I think this board will give close scrutiny to what they want.
Thank you, I just wanted to understand it.
Yeah, there isn't any rule, but I think it's, what staff knows and what the board knows, what we have for changes. If there aren't any, then, if that would affect this, then we do. But 3 years, I think, is about as far as we have gone out. I think it's getting to
Okay,
the point that it requires closer scrutiny.
And with this also, Deb, again, it's for a paved parking area to the west of the building.
yeah.
So again, it's not like it's, a change in the building architecture or something like
I
that.
wasn't necessarily referring to this particular parcel, I just wanted to know, in general,
Yep.
what the rule of thumb was.
And as Art mentioned though, too, that's what we take into consideration when people ask us, to extend it. Well, we know that maybe our landscaping standards have changed or something like that, that's, could impact the site.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the extension until June 30th, 2023.
Second?
Okay, motion by Al, second by Jake. Any further discussion by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions shows affirmative, and the extension has been granted to the 30th of June of 2023.
Thank you. The second extension request is for 213 Rockingham Road. So this was a site plan amendment for a change of use from an existing spa to a professional office and for a 672 square foot building addition and associated site improvements, 213 Rockingham Road, map 15, lot 21-1, zone C1 in Route 28 Performance Overlay District, Gagny Family Trust, owner and applicant. That site plan amendment was conditionally approved on October 6th, 2021. They asked for an extension on February 9th, 2022, and that was until June 30th, 2022. They are now asking for an extension, a 30-day extension, which brings them to Sunday, July 3rd, and then Monday, July 4th is the holiday, so I'd request that the board have it be extended until July 5th, 2022. And they're just working on some final engineering comments, and staff doesn't
Okay,
have any
because
objection to that.
we have a meeting on the 6th of July. Would that be better, or if it, let's say if it does lapse, they can make a request?
They
at
can make
the,
a
for
request,
the
yes.
6th meeting. Okay, I'll take a motion.
Just a quick comment
Yes.
first. So I'm reading the letter and that Laura put in the package, and Laura had recommended they request a 90-day extension.
did.
They came back with a 30-day extension. Do we just want to give them a 90-day extension and not worry about it, or?
I find that developers would rather have the 30. I think it makes them feel that they hold our feet to the fire more by
Yep.
having a 30 and not the
Okay.
90. So I would ask that we just give them what they requested.
Okay, very good.
And that's a perfectly good question. And sometimes we do if we have a little doubt if they can complete it, so. But they are certain. We never know any certainty till it happens, you know?
Today, they're certain. May 19th, they were certain.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to extension to the 5th of July, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the extension until July 5th, 2022.
Second,
By Al,
second.
second by Jake. Any further discussion by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Abstentions, the chair votes affirmative, and motion carries. That has been extended to July 5th, 2022. Wow. Okay, anything else from staff?
Nope, I'm all set.
Okay, anything from the board? I was going to ask Deb, the Energy Task Force, how was maybe give us a brief synopsis of the EV station presentation?
Well, it was really interesting. They're encouraging, especially businesses off exit 4 and 5, to have charging stations to bring in people even further. They also were saying that businesses should have them because there's only so many spots in the state, and they want to make that much larger for our footprint. And right now, they've got a lot of funding. I know the school is. I talked to Peter Currow last week after the presentation, and he said that they will look at it and run numbers and see how that would work and when their contract's up, because they have a contract with the school system. But they were saying that in some towns, I think it was Dover, that they were giving, Ann, do you remember they said something about the parking spots? Because you mentioned something about that. They said something about, they were, if you had a parking lot, that you could get 10 parking spots, but you could get waivers to put in the electric cars. Do you remember? And you made mention of it, like, then that would be less for the people that are there, and it was things like that they were talking about. And Mr. Dave Wally had asked them some questions in regards to, snow plowing, covering it, people leaving the cords out, them being dangerous to trip on. And I guess there's all kinds of stuff still
There's a
out
lot
there,
of
but
little stuff.
yeah, but they're moving forward, and they're encouraging us to look at that and maybe incorporate them into our regulations, is what the state was saying.
Yes.
Is
I know
that,
Dover does have site plan, it's in the site plan regs. And I think it extends, in other cases, if someone, think if a company wants to put in electric stations, they probably would need a site plan amendment, to.
Right. And but they're encouraging it. They're encouraging people to start looking at it.
There's a
and
gentleman in Dover who kind of oversees some of it. I can't think of his name right now, but I know they had this at, I think you went with the Office of Planning and
Yes.
Development. had,
Yes, I
so.
did go. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, and they were just comparing us to Massachusetts, and basically we want to get them to stop here and spend money, not charge up last stop Massachusetts and then come to New Hampshire. We want them to come here and, encourage them to, like, say, go to Max or something and charge their car, get an ice cream,
Yeah.
then go off onto
Do
the,
something and then.
yeah, do something, spend a little time, spend a little money, and
Leave
then,
leave some money here and then,
Yeah, that's their charge, and because we have the two exits off the highway, and the highway's the big push right now, everything around.
Yeah, I think that's what the state is charting, the main routes is the interstates, and then I think
Right.
some of the other routes, you know, like 101 and,
Yeah, they said all the connector roads, the big roads that get you from point A to point B are where they're pushing as a state, but they encourage towns who have exits like we do to encourage the businesses like a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
They would be one that you'd say, okay, come in, charge your car.
or even like Nuria, who's been in here with conceptual and then the conditional use permit. They'll be in for, with a plan.
Yeah,
so.
they said that there were 40 cars, different types of cars that were coming out next year. And they're looking at trucks even, some heavy duty, maybe not plows, but
No semi-trucks.
yeah. So it's definitely evolving and evolving very quickly.
Yeah.
And so we want to stay on top of that because we want them to stop Londonderry, not necessarily Derry or,
Yeah, and
somewhere
we
else.
have to have some meaningful regulations to take more,
yeah.
keep order to it, you know.
And they did suggest, I think it was Peterborough or Keene and Dover were the two big ones that had really well-written ordinances to look
Yeah.
at.
I think when it comes to the point in time, we'll check them out, but we're still in the process of looking for a planner, so.
I've got a question for Deb. Do all the cars take the same plug?
No,
they don't.
they went through this thing, there's 3 different types, and
Yeah.
it was way above my pay grade. It was very interesting, but it was recorded, so you can watch it on cable. But they're going for the general one, and there's adapters, like Tesla has its own.
Tesla's its own
Special
thing,
plug
its own, charger.
But they're creating some sort of universal adapters, like we have universal clickers for your
Got it,
TV. They're getting those
Yeah, there's
rolled out pretty quick.
There's level 1, level 2, and then there's the high voltage direct current. And that is probably fairly rare, 'cause a lot of
Yeah,
cars can't take that, but level 2 is probably most popular, that's 220, 240 volts, and then I think you can put a reasonable charge in half an hour.
yeah,
Level
that's,
1 is 110, that's when you, for at-home use, you plug your car in all overnight, come out in the morning, it's charged up again.
Are they looking
That
to,
could be another thing when you get to work, so.
are they looking to put any in like the park and ride or anything like that?
was
I
gonna
think
ask.
I
Seems
asked
seems
that.
like that's a real
That sounds like
logical
the-
place to.
Yeah, no brainer, right?
Yeah.
I asked that, but that's something that the state would work with them. It has nothing to do with us. So they just kind of,
I'm always amazed that ski areas don't put them in.
There,
You
there
know,
are
like-
more in Vermont.
They'll
yeah.
probably, it'll probably come, once they fathom the demand.
Where's the closest charging station to here?
I don't know. Derry used to have them, but they
Very
took
used
them
to,
out.
but, you know,
They
they're-
Hannaford,
And now they're
Hannaford and
thinking
Manchester
about
and
putting
stuff.
them back.
Hannaford
Foods
and
and-
Manchester has one too.
I'm sure if you Google it, they'll probably.
Is
comes
it
up
just a
with
Tesla charging station or is it an electric vehicle?
I think it's an electric vehicle.
Because there's 2 different ones, is what we're saying here.
Yeah.
The rest area at Hooks, it has like a dozen on each side as far,
Yeah.
because
But
I
they're
know
only
somebody
Tesla.
that
Those are
charges
Tesla.
there.
Only Tesla, though.
Only Tesla?
Only Tesla.
Tesla is basically Apple.
My
They have
father-in-law's
their
ran
own
into
stuff
that
and
problem.
nobody else can use it. so-
My father-in-law's ran into that problem with the
Okay.
I just want to mention that those areas you're talking about, ski areas and everything else like that, that means they might be leaving them at that charging station all day because they'll be gone all day. And if it's a rapid charger that, charges in a half hour, that, prevents somebody else from using it. So you have
That's
to consider that
another
too.
dimension, someone parking with a, internal combustion car and where they're supposed to be charging, that disrupts things, and I know in Derry, they had some of that problem also.
Yeah, they did.
We have a serious lack of ski areas in town too, so that's.
We used to have one.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I
There
live
are
down the
some
street from it.
systems where it knows that you're only supposed to be there, for example, a half hour or an hour, and if you're beyond that time period, they actually start charging you back more money because you're actually taking up time away from someone else.
Or take the electricity back. No,
Oh, that was the other thing, Ted. Thanks for bringing that up. That was the other thing they were talking about. Like, they're still in debate on how they're going to charge people for it, like how
Thank you.
much they want to charge, and if they go, who would be responsible for the overconsumption. would it be the town, the owner of the business? Because you only get so much it was this whole thing. It was very, they didn't know which way they wanted to go, even with the charging.
Sounds like there's still a lot to go before
Yeah.
they
Oh,
start
yeah.
putting them
Yeah,
out
but
there.
it's good to be ahead of stuff
Oh,
and know what's
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely.
And then, you know,
I mean, honestly, it's the future. It's not, that's not going away.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure we'll have a future discussion on this anyway, as we get into more of the nuts and bolts of the regulation, but.
Has anybody
Uh,
shown any interest towards it in terms of gas stations around here? In Londonderry, has anybody come to you guys and said, hey, we want to put a thing in?
Other than Nuria, I think,
It was discussed with them, I believe Debbie may have mentioned that to them, or to be LLC.
yeah, yes, and they had indicated that they're researching it anyway.
yeah, well, part of it is that they haven't really reached out through the chambers to any of the businesses, really. So I don't think the businesses realize that the state has this money from,
Yeah, because you said there was funding
Volkswagen.
for it, so.
and that they don't really have to pay a lot of the setup for it. So I just think that they're not even aware of it right now. So hopefully they read the papers, they watch the show, they start listening, and maybe they'll reach out to the chambers. But that's their kind of job to do that. I don't think a lot of people know.
Yeah, it'll probably start getting out there. I'm gonna go to old business, we'll get that taken care of, and then to new plans. We have 3 of the items that the applicant has requested continuances. So I'll start with a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a site plan for the construction of a 7,200 square foot warehouse and wholesale building and associated site improvements. 3 Enterprise Drive, tax map 15, lot 62-3, zone commercial 2. 3 Enterprise Drive LLC, owner and applicant, continued from the May 4th meeting, and they have requested a continuance to the 6th of July, 2022. I'll take a motion to,
So move, Mr. Chairman, to the 6th of July, 2022.
Second?
second by Jake, okay. So, seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative. And the official announcement, and the only official announcement you will get on this public hearing for the application of formal review of the site plan for the construction of 7,200 square foot warehouse and wholesale building and associated site improvements, 3 Enterprise Drive, tax map 15, lot 62-3, zone commercial 2, and 3 Enterprise Drive LLC, the owner and the applicant, has been continued to July 6th, 2022 at 7 PM right here. This is your only official announcement. Next, we have a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a site plan for a trucking terminal and associated site improvements. Number 15 Rockingham Road, tax map 13, lot 99, zone commercial 2. Alfred and Nicole Pretoria are the owners, and Pretori Brothers Paving is the applicant. This has been continued from the May 4th, 2022 meeting, and they have requested a continuance to August 10th, 2022.
So move, Mr. Chairman, continuance till August 10th, 2022.
Second?
Motion by Al, second by Jake. Seeing no discussion by the board, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative. And the only official announcement for the public is the hearing on an application for a formal review of a site plan for a trucking terminal and associated site improvements, number 15 Rockingham Road, tax map 13, lot 99, zone commercial 2. Alfred and Nicole Pretori are the owners, and Pretori Brothers Paving, the applicant, has been continued to August 10th, 2022. That'll be at 7 PM right here, and this is your only official announcement. Next, first of the new plans, we have a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a subdivision plan to subdivide one lot into 3 at number 106 Wiley Hill Road, tax map 5, lot 12-1, zone agricultural residential 1. 106 Wiley Hill Road LLC is the owner and the applicant, and they have requested a continuance to July 6th, 2022.
Motion to grant the continuance until July 6th, 2022.
Second?
Motion by Al, second by Jake. Any discussion by the board? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and the chair votes affirmative. Motion carries. And the only official announcement is right now, a public hearing on an application for formal review of a subdivision plan to subdivide one lot into three, 106 Whaley Hill Road, tax map 5, lot 12-1, zone agricultural residential 1, 106 Whaley Hill Road LLC are the owners and the applicant, and they have requested continuance to July 6, 2022. And this is your only official announcement. And the last new plan we have is a public hearing on an application for formal review of a site plan amendment for the construction of a 7,500 square foot two-story building addition and associated site improvements at 136 Pillsbury Road, tax map 6, lot 28, lot 18-2, zone agricultural residential 1. Orchard Christian Fellowship are the owners and the applicant. And the first thing we will do is see if the plan is complete.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll give you a little of the background. The planning board approved the site plan on October 25th, 2012, which included the new church consisting of a 5,780 square foot main building, 300-seat sanctuary along with additional building space to accommodate 3,360 square feet of classroom space and 2,025 square feet of office space. The project was proposed to be constructed in 2 phases. The main sanctuary building and the entire parking lot would be constructed in Phase 1, along with a full drainage system, landscaping, and lighting. The second phase consisted of the construction of the proposed classroom and office building additions on both sides of the sanctuary. The first phase was completed, and the applicant now seeks to modify the second phase by constructing a 7,500 square foot two-story building addition, 3,750 square feet of classroom, and 3,750 square feet of office on a northeast portion of the existing building, eliminating the proposed building on the southeast portion of the existing building. That's a little of the background. As far as completeness, there are no outstanding checklist items. Staff recommends that the application be accepted as complete.
Okay, any questions from the board? If not, I'll take a motion on the completeness.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the application as complete for staff's recommendation memorandum dated June 1st, 2022.
Okay, before I go to discussion and vote, Ann,
Chairman, I'd like to recuse myself because I sit on the board of the Londonderry Historical Society, which is an abutter to this property being discussed.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll appoint Ted to vote for Ann. So we'll still have seven voting members. Then when Ann returns to the board, Ted will step down. Okay, I'll take Alan's made the motion on completeness. Second by Jake. Any discussion on completeness by the board? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and the chair votes affirmative. Motion carries, and the application has been accepted as complete. This starts the 65-day time frame in which this board has to render a decision, and also it starts the public hearing and the presentation. So who is doing the presenting? You have the honors. Or say, is it going to be ladies and gentlemen doing the presenting? I just need your names and addresses or businesses for the record, please.
Ian McGregor with North Point Engineering. The address for North Point Engineering?
Just tell us who you represent.
Sure. I'm representing North Point Engineering. We're doing the engineering and site plan for this. We're an engineering firm out of Concord, New Hampshire. I'm here with?
I'm Carrie Owen of North Point Construction, no relation, and we're out of Hudson, New Hampshire, and we're the designer and general contractor.
And with us tonight, we also have Ken. You want to introduce yourself? Or?
Yeah, Pastor Ken Glazer, and a member of our fellowship, Terry Grady.
Okay, good. Well, welcome.
So between the three of us, we should be able to answer any questions you have tonight. So as John mentioned earlier, we're seeking a site plan amendment for the existing site. It's located on Pillsbury Road. Sorry. 136 Pillsbury Road, about 2 blocks from here. It was originally approved in 2010. and was fully constructed. We're seeking an amendment to the second phase, eliminating the 2 buildings. I think we had submitted the previous amendment, if that's available to view, Laura? The previous site plan,
Yes.
just to demonstrate the differences that were there. So it should just be sheet 4. That looks like the landscape plan. Yeah. Oh, there we go, yes. So up on the screen now is the original approved full site plan, both phase 1 and 2. As you can see, to the left and right of the main sanctuary building, there are 2 individual 1-story buildings. And those were both approved, and the only thing that has yet to be constructed in phase 2. And then if we can go back to the original site plan, or the submitted site plan, right here, the 2 1-story buildings are going to be combined into one single 1-story building. This does increase the total square footage between the 1 and 2-story by roughly 2,000 square feet from the original approved 2 individual 1-story buildings. But it does condense the impervious area of the site by eliminating the second roof area. The original stormwater management system was designed to accommodate both of the buildings. And my analysis of it back in December was that the current stormwater system in the 10 years that it's been operating for the main sanctuary as well as the parking lot is in good working condition and has no signs of erosion or any system problems that I could see. Excuse me. In addition to the construction of the single building, we will also have to be relocating the storage shed that exists on site. As you can see, it overlaps just a bit to the north of the proposed building. So that shed will be relocated up to the corner of the parking lot there, and some minor grading will have to be done to create a flat area for that shed to exist. We've submitted a revised traffic report, and we're not, the addition of the classroom as well as the offices does not increase the main use of the church. The sanctuary is not increasing in size. This just provides more facility to the individuals who are already utilizing the church itself. We've also been able to work with North Point Construction to complete the architectural elevations. And would you like to demonstrate those?
Absolutely. Did you include the elevations in the attachment, or is that a separate?
They should be there.
I do have, presented to Heritage back in March, I believe, so I have that in front of us. And maybe we can find the sheet that it's on. But the intent, as Ian nicely explained, is we're combining the 2 single-story additions to be a 2-story addition on the far side of the sanctuary, so it'll be opposite of the road. So as you're driving by on Pillsbury Road, you won't actually see anything different on the property until you actually enter into the parking lot. And so for the intent, we had done the original sanctuary back in 2011 and 12, and so it's an honor to be back working with the congregation again, 10 years later. So what we're proposing to do for the design aesthetic of the addition is to match the existing features on the sanctuary. So the same style of vinyl siding with incorporation of some vinyl shakes above on a gable end. One of the things that was important to us is the sanctuary is very monumentous, and we didn't want to take away from the feel of the look of the sanctuary. So the addition, the second story, is actually built into the roof line with a handful of dormers along the front, one large gable at the center, and there'll be a meeting room in that space for the business use, and then 2 smaller shed dormers, one on each side. On the rear side of the addition will be a full shed dormer, which will allow for more occupiable space inside the building as well as more light coming in. But this also prevents the roof line from being any higher than the sanctuary. So again, with the existing features, we're replicating the same wide corner board, colonial style look of New England with the frieze and trim at the roof line. There'll be some open style wood brackets hanging from a couple of the gable ends, also replicating what is done at the original sanctuary at the entry. All the windows are proposed to be white vinyl. Really, the biggest intent is to try and make it look like it was always part of the original sanctuary when it was originally built. And another feature for us too is the location of the addition in relation to the front corner of the sanctuary. We're trying to preserve some of the existing really tall 12-foot arched windows. So we shifted the addition back by about 15 feet from the front corner of the sanctuary to preserve one of the windows and allow that to kind of be incorporated into a covered entry as well.
Yep, so tonight we're seeking full approval. I think it was brought to our attention before this that an outstanding item did exist from the original construction, which was a sidewalk easement, to be able to have the potential for future sidewalk to exist. That's fully understandable. We sent that to Ken, and he is amenable to whatever changes or the original intent the city had planned for.
Okay, that's to accommodate the walking path, say the paved walking path. Okay, I'll get input from staff. We'll do the board. Any questions or comments? Go to the public, get comments there, then bring it back to the board for decision-making.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, there are just a couple of quick comments. Again, owner signatures shall be provided on the plans. We're requesting that the planning board signature block be updated in accordance with the regs. We're requesting that the architectural renderings be included in the appropriate size as part of the plan set and numbered accordingly. We're requesting that they update note 1 on sheet 3 to include particular wording. Item number 5 on sheet 3, note 12 should be updated to include the May 19th, 2021 variance request. As Ian indicated, again, they have looked at the traffic. We're requesting them to use current ITE manual in generating those numbers and also to include the current DOT traffic volume reports. Again, that's what was used back in 2010, so that way it's all consistent to 2022 year. We're requesting that they provide a digital copy of the complete plan set. Shall note all general and subsequent conditions on the plan, and as Ian indicated, again, regarding the signed sidewalk easement, they're working on that. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Anything to add, Laura?
Nope, just for clarification on the sidewalk easement behind you, I do have up back in 2012, when the original plan was signed, there was a proposed sidewalk easement. So it's indicated on the plan, but the actual easement document was never memorialized or recorded in the registry. So that has been prepared, it's been signed by Ken, and we're just waiting for that to be recorded, and then that plan number will be noted on the subsequent
That's
plan.
all set. Good. Okay, Deb, you want to be lead off?
Sure. Can I just ask a question? What type of school is this going to be?
I believe the primary use is Sunday school, but Ken would be able to more accurately answer that.
Sure.
Use one of the microphones here, or if you want to stand, you're certainly welcome to it, so.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, Deb, to answer your question, and I don't know if that's working. Maybe it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, primarily, this is for our children's ministry
Okay.
and providing a space for them both on Sunday mornings and throughout the week. We have very active groups in all different sorts of age groups.
Yeah.
We also are looking at the potential of this being a childcare for our community. You know, that's not definite, but that is something that we're taking a look at and providing that for our community.
Thank you, Pastor Ken. But my question, why I asked this question is, if it's going to be a school, will they need is it some outside area? Is there a plan or a thought with the fenced-in area? You know, because if you do make it a daycare or you do have other classes, you know, the kids so they can go outside and play safely, because that is a parking lot, should that be talked about now? Or no? I'm just curious.
I believe for the Sunday school service and some of the other functions, the childcare, the current plan as it's submitted will only be for 1-2 hours at a time.
Yes.
And I
Correct.
believe if there was ever a chance where an operational daycare facility would be required, we'd have to come back here for a change of use.
It have to be, change of use, and it'd be amended site plan.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was trying to save you some money so that you do it all at once. If you needed to think about that, it's better to do it all at once than
Thank you, Deb.
redo it again.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess that's the only question I really had, was that piece there.
It's a good question.
Okay, Lynn?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Just a couple questions. Is this building going to have sprinklers, and is it required to have an elevator for the handicap?
Answer that? Yeah,
No, not at
so
all.
yes, the building will be fully sprinkled. The existing sanctuary is fully sprinkled with a dry system, so we'll be connecting to that existing system. And then it is required to have accessible access to the second floor, so we're doing a vertical platform lift, which will be enclosed within a shaftway.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Jason?
I have no questions, thank you.
Ed?
Trying to come up with something, but I'm all good.
Jake?
I'm good. More of a comment on the elevations, if you will. It's probably the most in-depth set of, I forget what page you were scrolling on there, Laura, but out of all the plans, they have the most in-depth thing of church. It looks good.
Thank you.
That right there. Looks good. I'm all set.
The Heritage Commission, liked it
Heritage Commission
very,
did.
very much.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
It's
yeah.
crazy. It looks great.
Yeah, beautiful building. I think it complements what you have there. Are there any abutters or anyone from the public that has questions, comments, concerns in regards to this site plan? And we got a letter to read into the record too, Laura.
Is that okay if I speak here?
Yep.
I just want to say that Orchard Christian Fellowship has been a great neighbor to the Londonderry Historical Society, and I've seen these plans before, and I highly recommend passing this as a neighbor, because it's a beautiful design, and the church is just spectacular in that position. It's a beautiful building, and I think this will greatly enhance it, too. So, thank you, and congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks, Ian. Laura?
We did receive a letter from David Koglazer. He's the treasurer of the Londonderry Historical Society. That email is dated June 1st. It's addressed to the planning board, sent to me. Hello, I may not make it to the planning board meeting scheduled for June 1st, 2022. As the treasurer for the Historical Society, I can say that I and the other officers are in support of the Orchard Christian Fellowship's application for an addition to the present structure. As the longest-serving officer in the society, I can remember when the fellowship told us of their plans that were stretched across a vehicle hood in our parking area. From that time forward, they have been very good neighbors. We continue to share parking areas for our different events. This summer, part of their Bible school will use our barn for its program. We wish them the best for their expansion plan to add a nice-looking addition to their attractive building. David Lee Koglazer, Treasurer, Londonderry Historical Society.
Oh, good. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing that, I'll bring it back to the board, and it's good to have good neighbors. It doesn't always happen here, so. It's very heartening, so. And we.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant conditional approval of the site plan amendment for the construction of a 7,500 square foot two-story building addition and associated site improvements, 136 Pillsbury Road, map 6, lot 18-2, zoned AR1, Orchard Christian Fellowship owner and applicant, in accordance with plans prepared by North Point Engineering LLC dated February 2022, last revised May 5th, 2022, with the precedent conditions to be fulfilled within 120 days of approval and prior to plan signature, and general and subsequent conditions of approval to be fulfilled as noted in the staff recommendation memorandum dated June 1st, 2022.
Second.
Have a motion by Al, second by Ted. Any further discussion by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And abstentions? Chair votes affirmative, and motion carries unanimous. We have a very beautiful building, and I think people in this community love it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
You're welcome. And let's see, I don't have anything in other business. The only thing I want to mention, we did get a letter, because evidently the county commissioner districts were, I guess, realigned and everything. So we have a new county commissioner now. His name is Thomas Tamburello. He's been on the Rockingham County Commission for a while, and he is requested to meet with the board, looking for input on what we need to, any help in facilitating what we do need, I guess. So we'll arrange at some point in the future for him to come in at his convenience. It's getting into campaign season, so I'm sure he'll be busy, and maybe this is one of the reasons he wants to come visit, is part of the campaign, and certainly we are available for any candidates who want to come in and talk. We don't show any preferences. And we have no meeting next week on the 8th of June. There's nothing for the agenda, so vacation time.
Can tell it's summertime.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we get those two continued plans for July 6th. July 13th, I don't think, well, we don't know for sure until, I think that'll be the third week of June, the Thursday of the third week of June, and then we'll know. Because by then they have to have their plans in. And then it'll be August and Old Home Day and fun times. So if there's nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
By Al to adjourn, second by Jake. All those in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye. And
Aye.
Aye.
show that Ann has returned to the board.